Yo guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another episode of Premier League Talk, this time for Game Week 15. What a weekend it was. We saw some quite surprising results, some not so surprising, but some drama as well, pure drama in some games. But the main question I want to talk about today is how far can Unai Emery take Aston Villa? And we will come back to that, but as we usually do, we're just going to run through the results, starting with Saturday. So, Everton lost 2-0 to Leicester at home. Leicester starting to pick up a bit of form. Tielemans scored a worldie. Harvey Barnes getting the other. Pretty substantial. Leicester, they're starting to come alive a bit more. They're obviously now out of the relegation zone, which is a good thing for them. We move on. Wolves lost 2-3 to Brighton at home. Brighton again, they're still picking up those points, still chugging away. Wolves are struggling a bit. They've slipped down into 19th now. They are in the relegation zone. And they've obviously just appointed Lopetegui. I don't know how you say his name, so sorry if that's incorrect. Second time around, obviously he rejected them. He rejected them the first time. But yeah, it's not going great for them. They lost 3-2 at home. Forest drew 2-2 with Brentford. Man City controversially beat Fulham 2-1. We'll come back to that. But Haaland last minute penalty. Leeds came from being 3-1 down in the 65th minute to win 4-3. We will also come back to that one. We move on to Sunday. Started midday. Arsenal put in a very convincing performance at Stamford Bridge as they triumph over a really disappointing Chelsea side. They beat them 1-0. It was comfortable, controlled by Arsenal. They went back to the top of the league, setting a really good pace. They beat Wolves next week, and they're top going into the World Cup break. That's really good for them. So they won 1-0 thanks to a Gabriel goal. Villa beat Man United 3-1. Obviously, we were going to come back to that one. Newcastle won 4-1 at Southampton, kind of a result that was expected. Almiron has now got 7 in 7. So if you don't have him in your fantasy teams, what are you doing? You need to get him in. Newcastle, they end the weekend in third due to Spurs losing 2-1 at home to Liverpool, who got their first away win of the season. Salah scoring a brace. Not looking great for Spurs at the moment. What else can I say? So Newcastle finished the weekend in third, and then the other game of Sunday was West Ham lost 2-1 to Crystal Palace. Zaha and Elise scoring a last-minute winner in that one to seal it for the Eagles. But we will start with Man City, Fulham. Obviously, City went down to 10 men. Cancelo got sent off. Pereira then scored from the penalty spot. It looked like Fulham were going to hold out for a point at the Etihad, which would have been a very good result for them, and quite a shock actually. Like, you consider that City would beat teams at the Etihad. Then we had an instance in the going into injury time where a very controversial penalty got given for Manchester City. Kevin De Bruyne was challenged in the box. Now, my personal opinion wasn't a penalty. I think if the referee originally said that it's not a pen, then you have to stick with that, because I don't think watching it back that there's enough concise evidence to say, okay, you need to change your decision, because from the angle they kept showing, it didn't look like... You could argue he did make contact with him, but at the same time, there was no clear evidence to say that he actually did. It looked like one of those where De Bruyne may have dived because he's seen the trailing leg. But anyway, Haaland obviously scored the pen that sent Man City back to the top of the league. There were scenes at the Etihad at full time. It really felt like a big win for them. Obviously, they realised that it's not going to be as straightforward this season as maybe in the past few weeks we have, seeing as Arsenal have managed to continue their run of form. Obviously, you might see Liverpool come back into it now, but I've said that like 3 times already. But there was definitely a feeling about it being a massive win for City. So fair play to them. They won 2-1. Obviously, it's a bit controversial, but hey, what can you do? Anyway, we move on. Leeds versus Bournemouth. Now, what is going on at Leeds United? Obviously, this is the second game now where they have scored in the final minute to win a game. Obviously, it's not as big a game as it was at Anfield, where Somerville scored a last-minute winner. But still, to come from 3-1 down is no easy feat. Clearly, Jesse Marsch is getting something right at Leeds, because they are starting to pick up points. They're starting to climb the Premier League table. They're now up to 12th, having been in the bottom three about 3 weeks ago. So they are really starting to pick up some points. This Somerville, he looks like a player and a half there as well. I mean, seriously, he's bagging goals at the moment, so he might be a shout to get in your fantasy teams. But Leeds, yeah, I mean, they dominated the game, really. So to be 3-1 down, they obviously conceded early on, having gone ahead early on thanks to Rodrigo Penn. They obviously conceded straight away after that to Marcus Tavernier. Billing then put Bournemouth 2-1 ahead, and then Solanke made it 3-1 just after half-time. But you have to say for Leeds, like, it's a good effort to come from 3-1 down. Obviously, it's at Ellen Road, so you're going to have that atmosphere boosting you to turn the game around. But fair play to Leeds, and fully deserved, you have to say. If they dominated the game, they have a majority of possession, more shots, more passes completed, whatever, keep going. Yeah, Leeds, good turnaround, and mid-table finish is what's going to happen for Leeds. I can't see anything else, but there's a real sense of togetherness starting to build around that team, and it's a good thing because Leeds are actually an entertaining side to watch. But anyway, I want to move on to the main topic of this video, is Aston Villa and Man United. Now, obviously, Unai Emery returned to the Premier League with Aston Villa midweek, his first game, and they dominated the game. Straight away, they dominated the game. They went ahead, they went 2-0 up in the first 15 minutes. Leon Bailey scored in the 7th, and Didier banging in a free kick in the 11th minute. Man United, they're in trouble. We'll get to them after this. But Aston Villa, Jacob Ramsey obviously conceded an own goal before he slammed in a third goal for Villa. They look like a real team under Emery. They really did, and he's only had them for 1 week, one training, one game. Obviously, the first game of his reign. How far can he take them? Now, we said under Gerrard that there might be the potential for them to push for a European campaign at the start of the season. At least that's what I thought. Now, obviously, they didn't start the season as well as they probably should have done, or as well as they possibly could have done, which was a bit of a surprise for most people, but we got used to it after a while. Gerrard obviously went a couple of weeks ago. They brought in Emery, and now I think with the squad that Villa have, if Emery can get the most out of it, why not? Why can they not push for Europe? I don't see there being a reason why they can't. They're obviously in 13th. They are only 6 points off a European place. So it really shows you how tight that mid-table is. But yeah, I mean, fair play to Villa. They completely dominated the game. They had less of the possession in the second half, but you expect that with Man United, but had more shots on target. Yeah, what else can you say? Thoroughly convincing performance for Villa. Emery, I think he can take them to Europe. I hope he takes them to Europe, because I think Villa are a team that I would like to see play in Europe. Will it happen this season? I don't think so. Maybe next year, in future years, maybe they can push for Europa League. Who knows? With good investment, if this board backs in by the end of the season, we'll see. Man United, though, they look in real trouble. Yeah, it wasn't good for them. They obviously got their goal through a own goal from Jacob Ramsey. And they're starting to look a bit flaky, Man United, because they seem to be playing well 1 week, not so great the next. Blah, blah, blah. They're really not doing well. Ten Hag really needs to figure something out, because at the moment it's really not going well. They've slipped now. They have slipped to 5th in the... Well, no, they stayed 5th in the table, sorry. So, in fairness, Ten Hag has actually managed to get some decent points out of them. But something needs to change, because it's not working. I wouldn't say Man United at the moment. Yeah. Obviously, they didn't top their Europa League group either, so that's another problem for them. They now have to face Barcelona in the round of 32, which will be even tougher for them. Yeah, we'll see. But Man United, they're in trouble. They are, but I think they'll turn it around. I'm not worried about that, and I don't think they'll finish top 4. But Europa League should be solid for them. But yeah, Anyway, let me know how you think about Villa, how you think about all the other game week results. Obviously, this is the penultimate game week before the World Cup break, so Premier League Talk will be back next week for the final game week before the World Cup. My World Cup content will start next weekend as well, so there's that to look forward to. But yeah, this has been Premier League Talk for game week 15. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye.